Good evening and welcome to Source 16 News at 10. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news this hour, the campaign message is simple: lead, follow, or get out of the way. To spread their message and to win more votes for their upcoming primary election, gubernatorial candidate David Williams and Lieutenant Governor hopeful Richie Farmer traveled to Hopkinsville today.
Bashir had the opportunity to lead, he would not lead. He had the opportunity to follow, he would not follow. So now it's time for him to get out of the way and for us to make some of the changes that will make Kentucky competitive again so we can create and retain jobs like the state to the south, Tennessee. I live on the Tennessee line farther east from here, and all the counties I represent in the state senate are next to Tennessee, and we've watched Tennessee's per capita income increase, their population increase, the percentage of their adults who are working increase, while Kentucky has been adrift under the leadership of Steve Bashir. And we want a pro-job creation, conservative governor and lieutenant governor to take this state back and make Kentucky all she can be.
Williams then spoke about his thoughts on corporate and personal income taxes.
We have to do away with the corporate income tax, and the personal income tax needs to be phased out too. We are proposing and passed in the last session of General Assembly a tax commission to draw a new tax code from top to bottom, not just state taxes but local taxes. During my tenure as President of the State Senate, we've reduced the corporate income tax from 8.75 to 6%. We've reduced the personal income tax, done away with the corporate license tax, but that's not enough.
The political candidates also took time to shake hands with a small group of supporters at BW's Diner located at 308 North Main Street. The Republican candidates running against Williams and Farmer in the primary next Tuesday are Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Holesclaw and her running mate Bill Vermillion Jr. and Louisville businessman Phil Moffitt and his running mate Mike Harmon. Well, a 33-year-old woman was flown to a Nashville hospital and her two children were transported to the local Army hospital after a single vehicle wreck in Clarksville this afternoon. Clarksville police report the 33-year-old woman was driving west on Tiny Town Road when, for an unknown reason, her vehicle ran off the road, struck a curb at the intersection of Peachers Mill Road, went partially airborne, and then hit a traffic control box and overturned onto the passenger side. The woman is in critical condition after being life-flighted to Vanderbilt Medical Center, and her two children, ages 11 and 8, were taken to Blanchfield Army Community Hospital for treatment. Well, Hopkinsville police are continuing to investigate an afternoon shooting that reportedly took place at an apartment complex located off West 19th Street and High Street near Jenny Stewart Medical Center.
At 1:25 this afternoon, we received a report of shots fired here at 1935 High of one person being shot, and that person was taken to Jenny Stewart emergency room by a personally owned vehicle. The person that was shot did receive one gunshot wound to the upper left leg. At this time, he's being treated at Jenny Stewart. Now, the suspects in this case were driving a white Chevy Blazer with gray trim. They were described as two black males, and they were last seen leaving this area and going towards Main Street, which is a couple of blocks away from here.
Officer Ray says until next of kin are notified, the police department cannot release the victim's name, who he described as an adult male. Stay tuned to Source 16 as we continue to bring you the latest details on this developing story. A Hopkinsville man accused of shooting two teens had his case dismissed without prejudice in Christian County Circuit Court this morning. Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Whitney Westerfield told Source 16 that the case against Shannon Fairley was dismissed without prejudice so that the Commonwealth can indict Fairley at a later time. Westerfield says the case will likely take years to go to trial because Fairley's co-defendant, Antonio Dooley, is currently serving time in a Tennessee jail. Fairley was charged with aggravated domestic assault, vandalism, 2 counts of domestic assault, unlawfully carrying a deadly weapon, and 2 counts of violating his conditional release. As we previously reported, Fairley and Dooley were charged with shooting 2 Hopkinsville boys in the Woodland Heights area June 9th of last year. Christian County Fiscal Court this morning approved a grant application worth thousands of dollars and also approved decreasing the cost of county insurance plans. Judge Executive Steve Tribble says Fiscal Court magistrates unanimously authorized him to apply for a community block grant worth up to $500,000 to help pay for renovation costs at the old Carnegie Library building on Liberty Street. In other business, magistrates approved reducing county insurance costs by 18% for county employees. Fiscal court also approved training incentives for magistrates Tom Jones and Rudolph Pettis. The next fiscal court meeting is scheduled for Tuesday morning, May 24th at 8:30. Fort Campbell officials will be hosting a remembrance ceremony tomorrow afternoon for 8 101st Airborne Division soldiers who paid the ultimate sacrifice. This month's ceremony will honor the following soldiers: 28-year-old Sergeant First Class Ofren Arichaga of Florida, 26-year-old Staff Sergeant Frank Adamski of Connecticut, 29-year-old Staff Sergeant Brian Burgess of Texas, 39-year-old Staff Sergeant Cynthia Taylor of Georgia, 23-year-old Specialist Jameson Linskog of California, 20-year-old Specialist Dustin Feldhouse of Arizona, 23-year-old Private First Class Jeremy Faulkner of Georgia, and 22-year-old Specialist Sean Cutsforth of Virginia. The remembrance ceremony is open to the public and will be held at 4 o'clock at the Division Headquarters building. Fort Campbell officials say dozens of Vietnam veterans from the 101st Airborne Division will be returning to the local post this week to commemorate the 42nd anniversary of the Battle of Hamburger Hill. Officials say soldiers from 3rd Battalion, 187th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Brigade Combat Team will welcome the veterans and host several events this week in their honor. A memorial run is scheduled for Thursday and will be followed by a visit to an air assault school where veterans will get to see a combat and air assault demonstration. Then on Friday, a memorial ceremony will be held in honor of the Iron Rockassans who gave their lives on Hamburger Hill. After the ceremony, veterans will be invited to an open house at the 3rd Battalion, 187th Infantry Regiment headquarters. The Battle of Hamburger Hill occurred between May 10th and May 21st of 1969. A 26-year-old Hopkinsville woman has been arrested and charged in connection to a stabbing on Vine Street that occurred last month. 26-year-old Elara Settles, who was also featured as a Crime Stoppers fugitive last week, turned herself into the Christian County Jail around 1:40 Monday afternoon. Hopkinsville police charged Settles with first-degree assault in connection to the April 8th stabbing of 25-year-old Kevin Pollard of Elkton on Vine Street in Hopkinsville. Pollard was reportedly stabbed repeatedly in the back and chest near his heart and was life-flighted to Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville, where he recovered. According to the arrest warrant, Settles has called Pollard's mother and told her that she was sorry to have stabbed her son and that she would turn herself in to police. Police say Pollard was found at Settles' home, but she was not there. Only her cell phone and her car were there. A second woman, 27-year-old Kimberly Harrell of Elkton, was also arrested by Hopkinsville police the night of the incident and charged with first-degree assault in connection to the stabbing. Marshall County authorities are investigating 2 separate burglaries. The Marshall County Sheriff's Department reported today that a deputy responded to Moores Camp Highway last Thursday in reference to a burglary of various items being stolen from a building. According to the report, police say it appeared a trailer had been used to load the stolen items that included some sliding and hinged Pella doors, many assorted sizes of Pella windows, miscellaneous colors of vinyl siding, an E-Z-GO golf cart and Harley-Davidson golf cart, as well as other equipment and tools. Then on Monday, a Marshall County Sheriff's deputy responded to South Marshall Middle School at 85 Sid Darnell Road, Benton, in reference to a burglary over the weekend. Police say several windows were broken out to gain entry into the school, and 3 Dell Latitude laptops and 3 iMac computers were stolen from the classrooms. The Sheriff's Department is continuing to investigate both burglaries. Governor Steve Beshear will be back in Western Kentucky tomorrow, but this time his visit has nothing to do with storm or flood damages. He'll be holding a ceremonial bill signing. The governor will be at the Lyon County School in Eddyville to sign House Bill 428 that allows the state to retire the unpaid debt on the existing middle school building, which has been deemed unsafe for students and staff. The ceremonial signing will take place at 1:45. Well, authorities confiscated hundreds of marijuana plants in Western Kentucky last night after receiving a tip regarding illegal drug activity. Kentucky State Police went to the home of 24-year-old Jeffrey Baker Jr. of Sturgis in Union County last night and found about 400 pot plants in the early stage of growth, various types of items used in the process of growing marijuana, and 2 firearms. Baker was charged with cultivating marijuana, more than 5 plants, and possession of drug paraphernalia. During the course of the drug investigation, police reportedly received new information involving a burglary at Stone's Veterinary Clinic in Sturgis and say charges are pending at this time. Fort Campbell's 1st Brigade Combat Team, otherwise known as the Bastogne Bulldogs, relinquished their battle space to an infantry division based out of Hawaii. Task Force Bronco Public Affairs Sergeant Amber Robinson reports the transfer of authority ceremony was held at Forward Operating Base Fenty, Afghanistan, and dozens of Afghan leaders and U.S. troops attended the event. During the event, Commander of Task Force Bastogne Colonel Andrew Pappas and Task Force Command Sergeant Major Kevin Benson cased their unit colors, marking their return back to Fort Campbell. Major General John Campbell also attended the event. Taking a look at tonight's Mega Millions jackpot, it's up to $18 million, and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $65 million.